How far is a mother willing to go to bring justice to her daughter who was kidnapped and then unalive? Let me tell you a story about Miriam Rodriguez. So, on January 23rd, 2014, there was a 20-year-old named Karen Rodriguez who drove through San Fernando when two trucks with armed men came and kidnapped Karen. Little did they know, they messed with the wrong daughter. Little did they know that the men who took Karen belonged to the Zetas cartel, which is a powerful cartel in Mexico. Karen's family would spend weeks trying to get Karen back. I mean, they would do anything the cartel was asking. They were answering every phone call. They were listening to every demand. They even went to the extreme to take out a loan because the cartel was demanding a certain amount of money that they could not afford. So they went to the bank and got a loan. They dropped off the bag of money to them, and guess what? Nothing. It did absolutely nothing. So Miriam got fed up. She said, "That's it. I want to speak with one of the members of the cartel." And to her surprise, they agreed. They said, "Yes, okay, let's do this." So here we have Miriam about to go face to face with one of the members of the cartel who has her daughter. I mean, I couldn't imagine what was going through her mind at that time. Like, what was she going to say? How was she going to say it? Like, all these things are rushing through my mind if I was her. And here she is face to face with one of the members, and she's demanding, where is her daughter? But this man says, "I'm sorry, I have no idea where your daughter is, but if you give me $2,000, maybe I'll go find out and give you some indication where Karen might be." So immediately Miriam was like, "All right, let's do it. I'm going to get the $2,000. I want to find my daughter." But that led to nothing. Karen's family unfortunately didn't gain any information with that meeting to where exactly Karen is, but they did gain something really important. Miriam knew the name of the man. His name was Sama, and that was Miriam's first clue and one step closer to bringing justice. How far is a mother willing to go to bring justice to her daughter who was kidnapped and then unalived? Part 2. Miriam Rodriguez came face to face with one of the members of the cartel and found out his name, Sama. Now she had her first clue to bringing justice to her daughter. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't Miriam just go to the authorities and let them handle the situation, right? But Miriam did. She went to the authorities, but unfortunately there's so many missing cases that there wasn't really much that they can do. That's why Miriam said, "I'm gonna take this into my own hands." Miriam was up against a dangerous cartel. Let me tell you a little bit about the Zeta cartel. Now, the Zeta cartel, they split from the Gulf cartel back in 2010, where they massacred 72 people. And this massacre was called the San Fernando Massacre. Now, in 2011, the next year, they kidnapped and ended the lives of 192 people in La Jolla Ranch. And Miriam was very aware of this. Now, Miriam is not just your average woman. She actually has a little bit of history in fighting crime. Back in 1989, she tracked down thieves that stole from her husband's safe, and she recovered every single missing item. And then another time, her daughter's husband got into trouble with some gangs, and she personally got involved and went to them and said, "Look, I'm going to pay you a small ransom money. I want the problem to go away." And guess what? It did. And Miriam was an Aquarius. Where's my Aquarius is at? Like, you don't mess with an Aquarius mama bear. Now that Miriam had Sama's name, she was able to track him down on Facebook and found out where he worked. So she went straight to his workplace and waited hours outside until she saw him. Then she followed him home. Now Miriam knows where he lives. Before she can do anything, Miriam needed to collect more information. So she had to disguise herself so that nobody can recognize her. So she dyed her hair red, and she would wear this old, worn out uniform, going around talking to his neighbors, saying, "Hey, I am here because I am conducting a poll." And with that, she was able to gather more information. Even though Miriam was doing this alone, she still insisted on communicating with authorities, and eventually she made a friend with one of the federal police. With the help of this policeman, she was able to track Sama down, but unfortunately he escaped the first arrest. But that did not stop them. Eventually, they were able to arrest Sama. Now the authorities had Sama under their belt, and you would think Sama would just keep quiet till the end of time, but nope. The authorities were able to crack down on him, and he spoke. He said the names of the other members of the cartel. He even went to take them directly to the ranch where Karen was abducted. Now Miriam knows where Karen's location is. How far is a mother willing to go? Part 3. Miriam went to the ranch that her daughter Karen was located. Now the first thing that she found was her scarf. But she also found many human remains. She did a thorough investigation and she was able to find Karen's femur. Miriam would spend years tracking down, researching. She would use many fake IDs and different disguises just to get more information of where these men are. Luckily, she was able to track down 11 of her daughter's abductors. During her investigation, she was able to form a support group for over 600 families who also had missing relatives. This group is called the Vanished Collective. Miriam's heroic actions one day was going to get the best of her. And trust me, she knew it was going to come one day. Unfortunately, on May 10 of 2017, Miriam was driving home from work. And once she got home, she was struggling to get out. Now, Miriam broke her leg because she was chasing a prostitute who had connection to the Zeta cartel. So she had crutches on. And as she was trying to get out of the car with her crutches, unfortunately, two men drove by with a white Nissan truck, and they were carrying a 9mm pistol where they shot 13 rounds and 8 of them hit Miriam. Now, her son was in the house and he heard the shot. Immediately, he ran out and yelled his mother's name. He got down and brought her to the hospital as soon as he can. But unfortunately, she did not make it. Miriam unfortunately passed away on Mother's Day. Now, she knew this day was gonna come. To her, her priority was to bring justice to her daughter. That's all that she cared at that time, at that moment in her life. She only cared about bringing justice to her daughter's death, and she did. According to a friend, Miriam said that
she didn't care what happened to her. She said that she died the day that her daughter did.